Hey guys and gals, today I'm gonna do like a remembering review. And this came up when I was checking out some classic trailers of Jason the Argonauts from 1963. And this is one of those movies from my childhood growing up. You know, well, childhood growing up, like from my era, but we played the movie on TV because I'm more of an 80s child, even though this movie came in 1963. So let me just be careful how I say that. Besides that, I highly enjoyed this movie. I remember seeing this on television. I presume it was Channel 11. It was one of those channel, yeah, WPIX 11. It was that. I remember that because it had that little logo, and that was in New York, by the way. And what's awesome about this movie was the skeleton warriors. Now I remember, if you see Killer Instinct, Spinal, that character from the video game. That character came right off from that movie. You could tell people were a fan of that movie, so they pay homage by creating Spinal. A lot of people think the best skeleton warriors were like from Army of Darkness, aka Evil Dead 3. Disagree, because this is where it came from. Jason of the Argonauts started all that. If it wasn't for that, you would never see those skeleton warriors from Army of Darkness. Let's be real. Besides that, the movie's about Jason, not horror Jason, but Jason, a baby, and this kin was gonna kill him and all his family kin because he wanted power, and one of the guys that predicted the future for this kin, soon to become kin, of course, before he invaded the kingdom, was that one of these kids will stand up against you, and 20 years later, once he invaded the kingdom, he became king. He was saved from drowning from Jason, who was the prophet of the one-sandaled man. So, of course, the kid knew that, and it comes to. This is why I don't remember too much about that scene. I think he sent him to go for the Golden Fleece, or he was sent by the gods when Jason made that trip to the mountains. Yeah, I think it was that. And once he talked to the gods and about something about the Golden Fleece, and he'd be like a champion, but he's gonna win his own crew pretty much, without gold. And also, I remember something about Zeus and Hera had a game. It was like to see, to test Jason out, if he's gonna complete the mission pretty much. So he got his ship crew, and he goes on these different missions, with his crew, while I think the guy Hera was supposed to help him out. And I think there was a trial before that. If I remember the trial, she had like a certain limit how much she could help him out. Yeah, I think it was that, because I think it was Zeus's ideal. But I forgot how it came about though. So yeah, this is the tricky part of remembering reviews, because you're trying to remember, and that's the fun part of it. You try to go back as much as you could. Anyway, besides that, I know that JC comes through a lot of obstacles with his crew. They fought like this giant statue. They fought these two gargoyle-like demons. But there's one scene that we will always remember is the skeleton scene. That scene I remember highly, because that's when Jason goes for the Golden Fleece, and his crew helped him out. And one of the kings on the island told the soldier, get Hydra's teeth. Well, he fought Hydra. But the thing is, when he fought Hydra, there's a lot of different versions of Hydra from movies, how you cut the head and that new head grows. This one, Jason just stabbed him to the heart. Stabbed this monster to the heart, excuse me. And he was able to get out of it, get out Hydra's clutches. Besides that, once the king, he used the teeth of the Hydra, this is what I remember, and the teeth of the Hydra ended up forming these skeletons. And I remember how the skeletons were prepared to fight, and they made that loud war cry. And I'm like, whoa, this shit just get the shit out of me when I was a kid. And Jason and his Argonauts ended up fighting the skeleton warriors, and I think that was the last battle, and they overcome that. And then he got the woman, Jason, of course. And I think at the end of that scene, I'm trying to remember the end of the scene, I think it ended with Zeus and Hera talking about, I got more missions to set this guy on. I think I remember that part. Because I remember Hercules was one of his crew members too. and Hulk was left on the island, and Hera said they just got other things for him to do. Of course, we know the Legend of Hercules and the Legend of Jason. Of course, it's kind of being based on that, you know. Like they got other quests, you know. Besides that, that's all I remember. But I remember highly enjoying it. It was a fun movie. Special effects, of course. Ray Hausenberg stop motion animation style. Who doesn't love that? Anyway, peace, guys. See you later.